What up, YouTubes? Backwoods Hickalope here of the Angry Jackalope crew. And I want to thank everybody who liked and made comments on my last couple videos. I went to up and around Albany, New York, near Schenectady, to visit my bro. And we went, did like 3 days of ice fishing. And it was not a good ice fishing trip as far as catching. It was fun. I did it a couple times last year, or 2-3 years ago, and I caught, 30 perch and about 4 pickerel. So that was a lot better time, but I don't know, the fish just didn't want to eat. They weren't hungry. So we decided that we were going to do some other things. I got to meet my nieces up there, and we had a nice dinner. I had duck. Everything was locally sourced, which is a good thing up in New York, because a lot of people will take perch and the pike and the pickerel, sell it to the local restaurants, and they clean them up there and serve them. I mean, you know, they ain't like a lot of processed crap up there. It's pretty healthy up there. That said, this is my second flight, and I didn't know I can take a knife with me. If I carry on, I can't take it. So my check bag, I found out that I can take a knife with me. Well, unfortunately, I didn't bring one, so I had to get one while I was up there. And which leads me to this, the Crkt spew. And I just dropped my notes. Yeah, it's a nice little necker. I didn't want to get a big knife because I didn't know what their state laws were, but I already got some of the knives that they had there, but I didn't have this one. This knife is 5CR15 MOV steel, bead finish, a hollow grind, and it is 6 1/4 inches long without the cheap little paracord here. Blade is 3 inches long, and yeah, it made me feel a little more like I had a little more protection up there and whatnot. It's got a nice G10 handle. The sheath is injected molded glass filled stuff with a little paracord slide knot deal. First thing is, I thought it was pretty comfortable in the hand, except right about here. It's a little tight right there in my finger, but you know, I had to cut some fishing line with it and whatnot. Even cut a little minnow in half just so I can use the head part as bait. That didn't work. What else I got on here? Yep. Well, it's actually bigger than my Condor Bumbus, as you can see there. And the other difference is with this one was that when I bought it, come here, that it came sharp. Even that little tip, little fine, just nice. So that is my little review of this knife that I picked up at Walmart. Now up there, their taxes are, oh, I think it's like 9%, 10% sales tax up there. So I can pick this up on Amazon for $19. I paid $24, and it said it was $20 up at Walmart. So yeah, I paid about 24 bucks for this little thing. Got a little play in it but with injected molding, you know, it's either hit and miss. Some of them are good, like this, nice and steady, and this one, very weak, but it's not coming out of there, so I didn't have to worry about that. Wore this every day up there. Now, if I had a computer and everything that I need, I could splice a lot more together and show you all the things that I did. I went to Remington's factory where they make the shotguns and rifles and handguns and stuff. There's no tour, unfortunately. I would like to have seen a tour, but it gets going to the museum. They had the first Remington flintlock model there. Then I come to find out that's a replica, but it's darn close to the original one. Pretty nice. And then they showed the progressions of the guns and how they all went all the way down to the modern Remington 870s, you know. And even some of the new stuff they got there. They even put the first one of this model up there, you know. Just every model they come out, they stick it somewhere in the glass. So that was interesting. Then we went to, let's see, where else we go? Oh, we went to Lake Placid where they had the Olympics in 1980. And we watched a guy, which I had a video of that, where he did a ski jump. Fortunately, that was the first run of the first time, so the track was not still slick enough for him to go further. But, dude, you gotta understand, it was like 5 below zero up there, and my hands were froze. I was like, nah, I'm not going to sit here and watch that anymore. But we did go up on one of them, as I had another video, and you look down what this guy sees as they slide down, and it's still active. Even though it had a gate across it and plexiglass, it's still active, and they can go up even higher if you want more speed. All depends on the wind. The guy was talking about the wind versus the consistency of the snow. And all the snow up there, even though it's had like 3 feet of snow up there, most of that snow is man-made snow up there, so it has the same consistency throughout the whole thing. So that was some good information that I didn't know about. Then they had over there where they do the snowboarding. That was added on because snowboarding wasn't a thing back then. So they have a snowboarding training over there where they do the little stuff and fall into a swimming pool during the summer. And then they got one for the winter too and stuff. They had a little small one on the side for kids to learn how to ski jump. It's only like 20 feet. So that's where they get their feet wet. Let's see, where else we went? Went to FDR Presidential Library. And it's costly up there, folks. It's like, it cost us $40. It was $20 for each part you go visit. The tour was $20, and then for me and my bro, and then we went over to the Presidential Library, and that was $20. But that thing was huge. I mean, it didn't look huge. It looked like a regular kind of a house. It didn't look like, you know, a modern day kind of house, but they had a big basement underneath it, and the exhibits they had were really cool. And FDR was a very big supporter of the NRA, huge supporter, and that would probably go against the grain with a lot of liberals up around the world. But yeah, let's see, what else did we do? Went up to Saratoga Springs, and we drove around where they had the battle at, and you look up and you see the cannons where they had all these cannons up these hills. I mean, I don't know how they did it, but yeah, it's amazing what they can do back in them days. Went to a restaurant, had some nice dinners, and that's pretty much really about it. Went to the ice rink where they had the Russians, where the Americans beat the Russians, and I thought that was going to be a lot bigger because it looked really huge on the outside, But when you got in there, the seating was only like 8,000 people. You know, and that's where Mark Hamill won his gold medal and everything. And I just walked around. I stood on the ice. And then I got yelled at. They said, "Get off the ice! You ain't supposed to be on there!" And I was like, "Okay, sorry." Then the guy come over and talked to us for a little bit. And he's real cool and told us the history and stuff like that. And we were standing in the box where the U.S. was at when they won. And everything's still original except for a few things. Like the steps had to be painted white. And replaced one section of seating because it got damaged. I think a beam or something fell one year and damaged a bunch of them. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much as you see it when you walked in, exactly how it looked in 1980, except for the ice. You know, ice has been melted and reapplied hundreds of thousands of times, but, you know, you're there. So that was really cool. I was kind of not too emotional over it, but I was like, you know, I like history. You know, I love seeing that stuff, so... Then we went by locker room 5. That's where the U.S. team's locker was. And you can look in the window, and back in the 80s, they were done but plywood and 2 nails. So you can put your sack up there and your helmet, whatever you want to put up there. And it was just a wooden bench. That's all it was. There was nothing glamorous about the locker rooms, not like today. And then you go down, the next one over was the Russians. And then each one had a little plaque, you know, saying this was the Russian locker room, and had the team names and the people who's on there. And they had the Swedens and the Finlands and all them guys. You know, they had them all laid out there for you so you can walk by and look and think these guys walked down this into that, you know, and all that stuff. So it was cool. So that's about it, guys. I might try to post something on YouTube as pictures and stuff like that of a few things, but I don't know if I will or not. But well, one day when I get my computer and some internet around here, maybe I'll collage this all together one day and go ahead and make a nice little presentation for you all to see. But if you've never been up to New York State and seen that and drive around the mountains up there, oh, I'm telling you guys, you gotta do it at least once in your life in the wintertime. You know, just looking at it, you know that God is real. God has made all this. It's God's country, really. So that's all I got for you guys. I got to get going and get some groceries and stuff and get my house resupplied again because I left here with absolutely nothing in the fridge, and I'm getting hungry. So until then, this is Backwoods Hicklope. Go out and play in the woods and have some fun. Later, all.